Alright, what's up everyone, I'm Loki, and it's been reported that the Seattle Seahawks and the Baltimore Ravens are interested in signing Antonio Brown, and today I wanted to give my thoughts on that as a fan of the Seahawks. Before that though, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for over 1,300 subscribers. It's just absolutely insane the amount of support that I've been getting, and if you're new, make sure to subscribe. If you enjoy the content, leave a like as well, that'd be cool. But to get into the video, it has been reported that the Seahawks and the Ravens have had internal discussions on potentially signing Antonio Brown, and I think that this is a very interesting development to the Antonio Brown situation because now that teams are showing real interest in him, it seems like the NFL might have to actually begin thinking about reinstating him. I'm not 100% sure what the situation is between Antonio Brown and the NFL, but Antonio Brown does have a lot of legal issues right now that he's dealing with, and I think that the NFL will most likely wait until all those cases have basically found a verdict before they actually begin any course of action in bringing Antonio Brown back. Both Lamar Jackson and Russell Wilson have expressed interest in Antonio Brown, and I think almost every single quarterback in the NFL would want to play with him. He's an elite wide receiver, even though he didn't play last year, and he has a lot of issues with him. I think that almost every single quarterback would want to play with him because even though he's been gone a year, he's definitely still an elite talent. If he came into the league right now, he'd probably be top 10, at least top 15 wide receiver in the league. But obviously, it's not an issue about players and teams not wanting Antonio Brown. It's an issue between Antonio Brown and the NFL as a whole. The NFL really hasn't put any statements out talking about what they're going to be doing with Antonio Brown in the recent future, and they really haven't had a reason to up until now. Now that the Seahawks and Ravens have expressed real interest in Antonio Brown, they probably will have to start up a case to try to see what they'll have to do with him to bring him back this season. Personally, I don't see the Seahawks or the Ravens signing Antonio Brown this year, and if he isn't signed after this year, I don't know what his future is looking like in the NFL because he's going to turn 32 July 10th. And that's definitely old when it comes to the NFL. Not too many players play past their 35, or maybe like a 37 is probably the latest that anyone other than a quarterback plays to. If Antonio Brown does get signed to any team, though, I think he'll contribute almost instantly. There may be an ego problem with him trying to be the #1 wide receiver when he hasn't played in a year, so the team really doesn't trust him like that, but I mean, other than the drama and the locker room problems he may cause, I mean, he's a great player, and I think everyone in the NFL knows that. And basically every NFL fan knows that he's a great player. It's just the drama and the issues that he would bring to any team he goes to that is the problem for a lot of people. And now on to the Seahawks. I don't personally think that the Seahawks should sign Antonio Brown. I think that Josh Gordon is definitely a better option. He has a much better head on his shoulders, I believe, and he's really not a locker room problem. Russell Wilson said a lot of great things about Josh Gordon when it came to his work ethic and just in general him being a great person and a great player. Really, his only problem in the NFL is drugs, and if it's only weed like it's been said to be, then most likely he'll be reinstated pretty soon. And if the Seahawks sign him back, which I think that they should, they will have a very good wide receiver core. And honestly, Antonio Brown would just be a bit overkill for that, and it could potentially cause some locker room problems. I think Antonio Brown could be a very interesting option for almost any team, but personally as a Seahawks fan, I would not like the Seahawks to go out and sign him. I've seen a lot of Seahawks fans say that the winning culture in Seattle will fix Antonio Brown and he won't be a problem, but honestly, I don't think that that's a risk worth taking for the Seahawks. I think that they have a good defense. I mean, the offensive line and defensive line of the team can definitely be helped. But overall, skill position players, I think that the Seahawks are a very strong team. And at the wide receiver spot with Tyler Lockett, Phillip Dorsett, DK Metcalf, and now we've got some pretty good options in Swain that just got drafted this year. I think that the Seahawks should just kind of move on with that. I think that Antonio Brown is a risk. But really, we just have to wait and see what happens. The Antonio Brown situation is a very weird one between the NFL and all the legal issues he has. But I personally don't think the Seahawks should sign him, even if he is available to come back to the NFL. The Ravens, I'm not too sure. Their wide receiver core is all right. But I think that any team, it's just too much of a risk to be worth it unless you're a bottom 10 team and you just want to try to get some name value to get people in the stands. But then again, there's not going to be people in the stands because of the coronavirus. So honestly, I think that Antonio Brown is definitely a risk when it comes to signing him, but we'll just have to see what teams do. Will they get desperate enough to actually sign him, or will everyone just kind of stay away from him, or will the NFL even allow him to come back into the league? But with that, that's going to do it for this video. What do you think is going to happen with the Antonio Brown situation? Do you think the Seahawks should sign him? And if not, what team do you think that he will be signed to? Or do you think he'll even be reinstated by the NFL whatsoever? If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe if you're new. And with that, I'd like to thank you for watching. Have a great day.